Hi guys, thanks for following me and my video diary, my trip to Costa Rica and all the things that I'm encountering along the way. And I'm also just sharing random thoughts that come up around certain topics of things that I encounter. So the last video I posted, we got a little intimate. We're talking about sex, sexuality, pleasure, sexual trauma, patterns, and sharing with you this pattern that I had. I think that speaking it and sharing it was almost like my last, because when you have a pattern and you're so aware of it, it gives it less and less power, if that makes sense. Like, because you're so aware of it that you could just observe it and then make your choice. And because I'm able to be in a state of observation so strongly, especially after I've shared this so publicly, that I would actually really be shocked if I don't stand strong in my boundaries from here on out. So thank you for allowing me this space to talk about it, because I think we're good with that. I got the lesson on the BDSM and the Tantra, and to be completely honest, like, have you ever been spanked? And I was like, yeah, but not in like not by someone who like actually knows what they're doing with that, more so just like fun. So I was like, spank me. Like, I want to feel it. So I got a little lesson on spanking and like the two different ways to receive them. One that has like a little bit more of a sting, and then one that's more of like a motion like this that's like not stingy, which I really liked actually. So anyway, it was cool. It's cool to like experience that. But again, like I set my boundaries with him. But a story that I left off that, which had me go down this thought pattern about my patterns, my thought pattern around my patterns, is because he actually started to do what, like, he started to be the antagonizer. Is that the term? Like of my pattern. I want to make sure I'm using that word right. But I told him I do not want to have sex. Like, hard no, do not. And he knew, because we had very in-depth conversations of everything that, I talked very briefly on the screen about, but like we talked in depth about a lot of things. So he knew. But because we were playing with something sexual, of course, it made him want to try anyway, which is what occurs, which was my pattern. So he like started to try to kind of convince me that I wanted more. And he was being respectful in that he wasn't touching me in places I didn't want to be touched. Let's just say that. But he was still had the intention of something that was going against my boundary. So it started to feel good. I literally had the thought of like, oh, this feels good. Maybe I should just let this happen, because this was my pattern. But then he stopped and he's like, wow, I just have to tell you that, like, I know that you told me your boundary and I was literally trying to convince you to go against it. And I want to say I'm sorry. And that, wow, was so healing to have my pattern spoken back to me and shown to me in a way of like, this is actually what occurs for you. Like, I think it was in that moment that I ended that pattern, that pattern was like the last time that I will experience that, because I literally got to see it from not only my perspective in slow motion, but also hear his perspective of it and like what he was doing to make that pattern occur. Like, wow, how cool. So I'm like so thankful for meeting him. One, because I got incredible lesson. I got to be spanked in a really cool way. Non-sexual, but like still sensual, in a non-sexual but in a sensual way, which is so cool. I got to have a break in an old pattern, and then I got to continue on my journey. Like, so cool. Okay, so I just wanted to share that a little bit. Okay,